If you've been on YouTube lately, you've probably seen videos with titles like The Everything Bubble, Worse Than 2008, or Don't Buy Now. They are well made and super clickable. But let's be real, are things really that bad? Today I'm going to walk you through what's actually happening in the housing market. We'll look at the latest national numbers, see what the big institutions like Fannie Mae and NAR are projecting for 2026, and finally I'll share my personal take on where the Seattle market is heading. And of course, if you find this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more honest real estate updates from Seattle. Before we dive in, I'm Maggie. In 2025, my team sold over 160 properties with a total transaction volume of nearly $220 million. If you're interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate, feel free to reach out. All right, let's get into it. Before we jump to 2026, we've got to understand where things stand at the end of 2025. According to the National Association of Realtors, the number of existing home sales across the US is sitting around $4.1 million. That's slightly better than 2024, but still far from what we saw before the pandemic. The median sale price right now is about $415,000. That's a 2.1% increase compared to a year ago, marking 28 straight months of price growth. In other words, even with all the talk of crashing markets, prices across the country have been quietly going up, slowly but steadily. Inventory has tickled up too. We now have around 4.4 months of supply, up slightly from last year. That means sellers aren't totally in control anymore, but buyers haven't taken over either. We're finally moving into what looks like a more balanced market. Refin's data backs this up. They show home prices are up around 1.3% year over year, and active listings have increased about 5% compared to last year. But that 5% growth is already slowing down. So we're not seeing a flood of homes hitting the market. We're just gradually easing out of the extreme shortage we've been stuck in for the last few years. So to sum that all up, sales are better than the lows we saw in 2023 and 2024, but we're still not fully recovered. Prices are inching up, not falling off a cliff, and inventory is creeping back toward normal, not exploding. This isn't a boom, but it's definitely not a crash. It's a market that's been under pressure from high interest rates, but is slowly healing. Now, let's talk about where all that fear content usually comes from. Fear number one, interest rates. You probably heard things like,
interest rates are too high, prices are going to crash. Inventory is going up, demand is dead. 2026 will be the next 2008 or worse.
It sounds intense, and yeah, it gets clicks, but when you hold those claims up against real data, they just don't line up. Yes, rates have been high. In 2025, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate stayed in the 6.2 to 6.3% range. There's no one's idea of cheap, but here's the key. Those rates have stopped rising. Fannie Mae is projecting the average mortgage rates to drop to around 5.9% in 2026. That might not seem like a big change, but even a 30 to 40 basis point drop can make a real difference for buyers on the fence. And here's another thing most people don't talk about. Fed leadership is changing. Jerome Powell's team ends in mid-2026, and his likely replacement is Kevin Hassett, who's much more rate cut friendly.
They should cut, and it looks like they're signaling they're going to cut, and that's a really good sign because it shows that they're looking at the data and doing the right thing.
And the market sees this too. If you look at the CME FedWatch tool, features show nearly 80% odds of at least 3 rate cuts by the end of 2026. So we're not heading into more aggressive rate hikes. We're already past the peak. Now we're on the downward slope. That matters because falling rates usually mean more buying power, more activity, and more confidence in the housing market. Okay, second fear point, inventory. You hear people say, as soon as inventory rises, the market will collapse, just like in 2008.
Soaring gas prices, falling home prices, and rising unemployment.
But here's the reality. We're still in a housing shortage. Multiple studies show the US is short by 3 to 4 million homes. And builders, they're not racing ahead. Fannie Mae expects only a tiny increase in housing starts next year, less than 1%. That's not enough to flip the market. So even though inventory is up slightly, we are nowhere near oversupply. Back in 2008, we had too many homes and not enough buyers. Today, we have the opposite. Still not enough homes for the people who want them. So this idea that a little more inventory means a crash, it just doesn't hold up. Fear number 3, recession and job losses. Let's talk about the third big fear trigger, the economy. A lot of those dramatic videos will say things like this. A recession is coming. Unemployment is going to explode. They're just printing money while the economy falls apart. But again, what does the actual data say? According to the Philadelphia Fed's forecast, US GDP is still growing. They expect real inflation-adjusted GDP to rise by about 1.7% in 2025 and 1.8% in 2026. Not huge growth, but not a recession either. And unemployment is projected to go from 4.2% in 2025 to 4.5% in 2026. That's a small increase, but still within a healthy range. We're not talking about 8% or 9%. This isn't a job crisis. In plain terms, yes, the economy is cooling down, but it's not crashing. And for the housing market, a steady job market is one of the biggest supports there is. Now, let's talk about prices and sales volume, what most buyers and sellers really care about. Let's start with sales. NAR predicts that in 2026, US existing home sales will jump by around 14% compared to 2025. Fannie Mae expects total home sales, new and existing combined, to rise nearly 9%. And that tells us something important. We're not stuck anymore. The freeze from the last couple of years is starting to thaw. And prices, Fannie Mae expects home prices to rise about 2.5% in 2025, then slow to around 1.3% in 2026. That is not a crash, but it's also not another 2021-style boom. It's what you'd call a soft landing. More homes being sold, prices still rising, just slowly and steadily. And here's something a lot of people miss. Homeowners today are in a much stronger financial position than they were before the last crash. Across the US, residential real estate is worth about $47.5 trillion. Mortgage debt, just $13.8 trillion. That means the majority of the homeowners have a lot of equity and low leverage. This isn't 2008, when people were buying with zero down, subprime loans stick on top of each other, and defaulting at the first sign of trouble. Today, most people aren't in a position where they have to sell, so we're unlikely to see a wave of forced sale or panic listings. Now, let's bring it home, literally, and talk about Seattle. What's happening right here in our market? First of all, no, we're not in a crash. Seattle has simply cooled down from being an extreme seller's market into something much more balanced. Prices are still high, but buyers finally have more breathing room. Here are a few quick numbers. The median price for a single-family home is about $975,000, up about 2% year over year. For condos, the median is about $565,000, up nearly 3%. So despite high interest rates, low-priced and entry-level homes are still moving, supported by real demand. Price per square foot, around $540 for single-family homes, $560 for condos. Both have seen steady, modest increases. Inventory, King County now has about 2.8 months of supply. That's up just from over 1 month a few years ago. Balanced, not flooded. Sales, about 24,000 transactions across all property types in the past year, almost flat year over year. Condos up a bit, single family slightly down, total volume around 26.3 billion. So no, Seattle's not collapsing, it's just calming down. Now, let's zoom out a bit. Over the next 20 years, Washington State is projected to need more than 1 million new homes to keep up with population and household growth. Seattle, with its high-paying jobs, limited buildable land, and zoning constraints, is where the pressure is the most concentrated. In simple terms, more people want to live here, than we have homes for. And that's not going to change anytime soon. Even with new density policies like HB 1110, it takes 3 to 5 years to turn those into real homes. So yes, the short term may cool, but the long-term imbalance remains. So here's my personal take on Seattle in 2026. I think we'll see a modest recovery in transaction volume, probably a double-digit rebound, especially for first-time buyers and families looking to upgrade. Prices, I expect them to stay mostly flat with a slight increase, something like 1 to 2% overall, maybe 2 to 4% for well-located single-family homes. Condos might take a bit longer to bounce back. Interest rates easing down toward 5.9% should help unlock some of that pent-up demand. Bottom line, 2026 won't be a boom year, but it won't be a bust either. It will be what I'd call a normal year, slow, steady, and stable. If you're buying for lifestyle reasons, marriage, kids, commute, it's fine time to buy. But if you're expecting quick appreciation, that's probably not going to happen. And for sellers, next year might take a little more prep and patience, but good homes still sell. So it just takes more effort to sell a home. And our team this year actually successfully sold 47 homes. If you are interested in selling, you can give us a call. We're here to help. Thanks for watching. If this gives you some clarity, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Maggie in Seattle. And let me know in the comments, do you think 2026 will be a crash, a comeback, or just a quiet year? See you in the next one.